Hey guys, it's Kale. So today I wanted to make a video talking about my clinical experience and kind of what clinical was like for me. I know when I was a nursing student, I was really anxious with clinicals, especially my first one, not knowing what it was going to be like, or when I had my consolidation or my praxis at the end, which is when you do 450 hours, like shadowing another nurse. I was really anxious about that as well. So I kind of just wanted to make this video kind of talking about what that was like for me, and hopefully I can help someone else out become less anxious, or maybe you can find this video helpful to you. Okay, so I had 4 clinicals during nursing school, and then my 5th one was my praxis or my consolidation. So first semester I had a long-term care placement, which was towards the end of the semester. I think it was like the second half of nursing school, and it was 6 hours a day. I think it was like, I don't know, like 5 to 11 or something like that, or 5:30 to 11:30, like in the morning. So it was at a long-term care home, and basically the kind of skills that we were doing was kind of like introduction to nursing, like your basics, so more so like PSW type kind of work. So we would get the patients up, and we would help get them dressed for the day. We would give bed baths, we would help change them, and then we would also help feed them, and then help them go to the washroom later in the day. So I remember we basically, like the first couple shifts, we were kind of just helping the PSWs, but then towards the end of the semester you would get like a patient that you were in charge of for that day, or you would get 2 patients, that sort of thing. And it wasn't so much like nursing per se, like it was more so you were just kind of like caring for them physically at that point, which I didn't really have that good of an experience personally, because of the PSWs that I was working with unfortunately weren't the most supportive, but I hope that's not the case for other people. So yeah, that was my first semester. My second semester, I had the same placement at the same long-term care home, and it was, I think it was 8 hours we did. I don't remember, maybe it was 6 to 2, or maybe it was 5 to 1. It's either 6 to 2 or 5 to 1, I can't remember exactly, but yes, we did 8 hours, and that started like right away. I think it was like the second week of the second semester. And yeah, it was a better experience. They started to introduce more, I guess, like hands-on nursing skills at that point, because second semester is really when you learn how to do like vitals, you learn how to do head-to-toe assessments, you learn your different assessments, you learn wound care, stuff like that. So we did that, which was good. And it was like the same thing, like in the beginning you kind of just shadow, like we took turns like shadowing the nurse, because there was only 1 nurse per unit for all the patients. And then throughout the semester you would get like another patient and another patient. I remember there not being that much wound care opportunities, unless they were like pressure wounds, and mostly the nurse would do that, just because they were more like serious, like pressure 3 or 4, or stage 3 or 4 pressure injuries. So yeah, that was my second semester. Sorry, my nose is so itchy. Okay. And then my third semester was mental health, and that's when they started to introduce the 12-hour shifts to us. So we did 7 to 7. We're supposed to do like half the semester is supposed to be mental health, and then the other half is supposed to be mother and baby, because those are like the 2 courses that you take in that semester. But unfortunately, COVID happened and they weren't allowing students for the mother and baby units. So yeah, so we did mental health for the full semester. I went to a mental health facility, which was an interesting experience for me. Yeah, we did 7 to 7. Honestly, it wasn't that interesting. Like, I think I would have preferred like long-term care if I had to, but yeah, just because the unit that, like, there was, or sorry, they call them wards, so the different wards, and the ward that I was on for the whole semester wasn't really that exciting. Yeah, it was more so just like people who like they're in the legal system because they did something and then they're deemed not criminally responsible because of their mental health. And like the background stories were interesting, but more so I found it was just a lot of like sitting and not hands-on nursing skills. I know a lot of people do like the mental health aspect of nursing, but for me, I don't know, I don't think it's something that really I'm interested in doing. We mostly just did what did we do? We did medications in the morning. We would help out with medications, and then we would do like mental health assessments. I remember I think it was once a week they did vitals on everybody, so we would do that. And then every half an hour they would do like counts of like where everybody is and what they're doing, and we helped with that. There was quite a few code whites, which is when there's a violent patient or violent person, sorry, in general. And then there was like a lot of restraining, whether it was like physical restraint or like a chemical restraint or whatever. So yeah, I have some stories in regards to that if you guys are interested, of course I can do another video on that. But yeah, it was interesting, but honestly it wasn't that great of an experience for me just because it wasn't so much hands-on, and I'm more of like a hands-on person. Yeah, but it did help with like the theory part of that. You can connect things, which was nice. And then moving on to fourth semester, I had my med-surg placement. So I went to a med-surg unit, and it was 12 hours again, and it was once a week. We did 7 to 7, and I had a really good experience. I did really like it. It was basically exactly like what my work life is like now. So you would get report, and then you would go do vitals on everybody, you would do your assessments, you would help feed them, change them, dress them, bathe them, medications. Like basically, if you guys want like a rundown, I do have another video talking about day shift, and I'll link it down below and you guys can watch that. But basically it was exactly like that, which I think is like the main thing when you think of a nurse. That's like the main thing that you think of, is that sort of job, which I think is perfect for nursing school to get that experience, because that's when you sort of kind of connect everything. And when you're in fourth semester, you really need to know your stuff at that point. And like fourth semester is really when I started to kind of grasp everything, just because I had that hands-on experience and I would connect everything. So yeah, I had a really good experience that way. And then they did like each week we would rotate like who would get to go to like the OR or dialysis. I spent a day in dialysis, I spent a day in ambulatory care clinic, and I spent a day in the wound care clinic. So those were all really good experiences too. But yeah, overall that was a good placement. And then my fifth and final, which was my consolidation or my praxis, was in an emergency department, and I loved it. I did 450 hours, and I think it was like May to August is kind of how it worked out. So I did 4 shifts and then 5 days off. So what I did, I think it was 10 to 10 is what they do there. So I did 4 10 to 10s, like 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and they didn't do nights, just because the nurse that I was partnered with, she didn't do nights, so I got lucky that way. But yeah, I loved the emergency department. I learned so many things there, and that's a whole different video of everything you see in Emerge. But yeah, that was awesome because it was different than, the patient's already admitted and, you have all these orders from the doctor and whatever. Whereas in the emergency department, like they see you before they see the doctor, right? So you're doing your assessments and you're the one that's kind of advocating for them of what they need. And there's medical directives in place and you kind of decide on that. And it's very, very interesting. And I did end up getting a job in the emergency department right out of nursing school. So if you guys want a video talking about kind of what kind of things you see in the Emerge, and the kind of assessments you do and things like that, I can do a video on that as well. But I do have, when I was a student, I do have a video, like a day in the life video that I can link down below, if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, so that was what my clinical experiences were like. Overall, I'd say it was a good experience. And yeah, as a nursing student, make sure you you take advantage of your clinical experiences, because that is where most of your knowledge will come from. And that's where you're going to learn all your skills, and that's where everything's just going to start to make sense. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video so you don't miss out on another video. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.